We also have Commissioner Tina Berger, and we have Vice Chair Best. So and we have Commissioner Larry Leslie.
Yep, see him.
So I'm seeing a total of 4, and we do have one member of the public who's actually also one of our applicants on hearing, Troy Morris from Raptor Ranch. He has joined us as well. So we have one member of the public, but I'll keep watching here and let you know if
Appreciate that. Let's go ahead and get started with the work session then.
if more
Hey,
people
Jess,
show up. Absolutely.
Does my name show up or does it get chopped off? Should I go VC chair?
You know,
It says, yeah, that'd be
VB.
better because it does get
it chops it?
truncated.
Okay.
yeah.
I'll come back in at the break.
Okay. All right. And I realize we probably from different operating systems, we have different views. My view, I see if you don't have your camera open, there's a circle with your initials. So like for if Chair Wilson's camera wasn't on, it would say CW. But I also have below that, and I realize we may have different displays based on different systems. I have the person's full name, but I can also click on people, and it gives in the right hand bar of the window then a full list with full names of everyone who's on the meeting. So there's a couple of ways, and certainly I can assist anytime you want me to confirm who's on and what name.
I think we're good.
Thank you, Chair Wilson. And so commissioners, any members of the public who are with us and staff, thank you for joining the commission for their study session today. And we will kick off the study session in order, reviewing the 2 cases that we anticipate having on public hearing next month, on next month's hearing, February 25th. So the first one is RV as a permanent residence, and Bob Short from our staff is managing that case. So go ahead, Bob.
Thank you, Mr. McNeely. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. This case is Wadsworth RV as a permanent residence. In this case, the applicant and property owners are Michael and Margie Wadsworth of Grand Canyon, Arizona. Property is located at 765 US Highway 180 in Valley. The zoning's AR1. Size of the property is 1.27 acres. And this is a request for an RV as a permanent residence. The development plans for this particular RV is to install an EQ, environmental quality approved wastewater system. Water would be hauled or delivered, as is normal in Valley. RV would be occupied full-time, and they would install a fence to minimize disturbance to neighbors. This is a vicinity map showing the subject property. It's more into the interior of Valley, so they do have some neighbors around them. It's there's quite a bit of development, residential development in this area, and they are in that area closer to the intersection. And this is their aerial photo. You can see they have neighbors at the back and some neighbors over here as well. This is their site plan. Kind of rudimentary as always. They are showing a 10-foot side setback. This is actually the highway back here. East is up, north is northeast, I believe is this way to your left. They're showing a 2-car garage and some other development of the property, including a septic tank for their wastewater system. And this is a photo of the park model RV. So it is a certified ANSI certified park model RV as is required. And in terms of citizen participation, the applicant, they held a meeting on December the 6th. No one attended the meeting or had any comments on this. Staff hasn't gotten any comments on this. With that, I'll take any questions from the commission.
I'm not seeing any. Let's go ahead and move on.
Thank you, Chair Wilson. The next one is a cell tower, 99-foot wireless telecommunication facility. And Sophie Koza from our staff is managing this one. Thank you for sharing your screen, Sophie. Go ahead.
All right. This is Sun State Wireless Telecommunication Facility, CUP 2602. The property owner is Mangini House out of Cottonwood, Arizona, and the applicant is Destry Development LLC out of Phoenix, Arizona. The property is located at the northwest corner of I-40 and Flagstaff Ranch Road, and the parcel is 17 acres. However, the applicant is proposing the tower in a 1,600 square foot lease area. The property is zoned general, and the request is for a 99-foot wireless telecommunication facility. So they're planning on putting up a new 99-foot monopine. They'll also have equipment cabinets and a backup power generator in a fenced-in portion at the tower's base. They're proposing an 8-foot chain link fence around the lease area, and they will meet the 105% setbacks as required by the zoning ordinance. And there will also be the possibility to accommodate up to 2 additional future carriers. So this is a vicinity map showing the subject property highlighted in blue. It is general zone, as I said before, but there is industrial, commercial, and residential property around it. To the west, you have Saskin Ranch, which is the main residential area. And this is an aerial photo of the subject property. You can see it's heavily treed right off of I-40. And this is their site plan. So their 1,600-foot lease area is towards the southeastern part of the property in this red square here. And then there's an inset map to the right showing the monopine and then also the space for the generator and equipment. And these are some elevation drawings of the monopine. They show the antennas for Verizon at the top, and then the 2 red boxes are where they show the ability to host future antennas. And so these are some photo sims. The first view is from north on Flagstaff Ranch Road, and you can see the monopine at the bottom. This second view is closest to what you would see from Saskin Ranches, although the actual houses are much farther away, but it gives you an idea. This third view is from east on I-40. And the fourth view is from south on Flagstaff Ranch Road. And then these are 2 maps showing the before and after of coverage in the area. And for initial staff analysis, the comprehensive plan does support expansion of wireless service coverage throughout the county. This particular cell tower ranks numbers 3 and 7 out of 10 on our preferred facilities list, since it's a concealed / camouflage monopine and is under 100 feet in the G zone. It does rank 3 out of 6 on the disfavored facilities list, since it is located adjacent to a residential area. And then something for the commission to consider is the Federal Telecommunications Act of 1996, which states if a proposed cell tower is the least intrusive means to cover a significant gap in coverage, the local jurisdiction cannot deny the cell tower if they can't make the findings. For their citizen participation plan, they held a neighborhood meeting notifying neighbors within a quarter mile of the site. 0 people attended, and neither the applicant or staff have received any comments so far. So with that, are there any questions?
Ms. Koza, I have a couple. The first one, was it posted in a way that the folks in Saskin Ranch would have even seen it?
So it hasn't been posted yet, but when they held their neighborhood meeting, they were required to notify. It was a quarter mile out, and that, I believe, went out to about this parcel here. So a solid amount of them within Saskin Ranches should have received a letter from the applicant.
Okay. And the second question is how can you score both a 3 and a 6 out of 10? If you go to that slide, I'm not tracking there.
Sure.
A 3 and a
So
7.
Yeah, so 3 is for concealed or camouflage facilities. So since Samanapina would rank 3. And then 7 was for facilities under 100 feet in the G zone. So those were 2 different criteria.
Okay, so the 3 and the 7 should be like a combined score. You add those up.
I think they're considered separately for the most
Yeah.
part.
Okay, I'll have to familiarize myself more with that particular process. Vice Chair Best, I see you have your hand up. Please go ahead.
Thank you. Having seen a bunch of these, I think the color is very important. So I hope that you'll get the applicant to assure us that the color is going to match ponderosa pine trees.
Okay. I'll definitely ask them about that.
Thank you.
I am not seeing any other questions, so we can continue on.
Thanks, Chair Wilson. I just heard from Sheila Walsh. She's trying to get into the meeting. So those are your 2 cases scheduled for hearing next month. Next on your study session agenda is our long-range planning efforts, the regional plan and the comprehensive plan. So Melissa, if you want to update the commission, including what took place last night with the regional plan.
Okay, thank you, Jess. Good evening, commissioners. Last night, the Board of Supervisors held a public hearing on adopting the Flagstaff Regional Land Use Plan, and they unanimously voted to approve and adopt the plan. There were actually no public comments raised during that hearing, and so although it was adopted last night, which was the 27th, it would be the resolution was written so that it will be effective on June 3rd. And the reason for that is because then that would give the board time to consider if any sort of revisions need to be made after the public vote, which is for ratification on May 19th of 2026. So just recall that that will be on a special ballot initiative for City of Flagstaff voters. And then the reason why that was set to be effective after that is in case it's not ratified, then the board can consider what to do at that point. So it won't take effect. The current plan, which was the Regional Plan 2030, will be in effect until that time. Are there any questions about the Regional Plan adoption?
I'm seeing none.
Okay, so we will have that. We'll have the website updated with that information. We'll do that next week, and then, you know, the City of Flagstaff will have that interactive map site running, so it will be definitely available for people to look at up until the ratification, and then just transition over to the comprehensive plan. Everybody knows that that's been approved and it is in effect. So Envision 2045 is the new comprehensive plan, and the website is updated now with all of the documents, including the new plan, the companion guide, and the interactive map site. So if anyone wants to see how to navigate to that, just let me know and I can be happy to share screen. Or if you need a print copy, we can print copies on an individual basis. But we didn't do a print run on those.
Actually, it'd be great to have, Melissa, if I can get a copy.
Okay, would you like to have a copy of the full plan or of the companion guide, which is, you know, basically a Cliff Notes version with just the goals and policies?
Yeah, the companion guide would be great.
Okay.
Vice Chair Best, go ahead, please.
Ms. Shaw, before you leave, I wonder if you could find an intern to or just put it on a list. It would be great. I use the heck out of the companion guide. I love it. Thank you for doing it. It would be great if there was a page reference to where it is in the larger document. And I assume you've got the larger document nailed down by now, just so that it makes it really easier to locate it in the larger document and see if there are any, see if there's any supporting language that would be useful as you look at a particular goal or policy. So if you could do that between now and tomorrow, I appreciate it.
I'm not sure we'll be able to do that. That might be something to put on the list for the next few months. I'm sure there'll be a new long range planner who can take that on. We also, yeah. So you're suggesting that put the page number for each section in the companion guide.
Well, when I look at goal EH6, where where does that appear in the larger document? Or however you want to do it, that makes it so that it's just easier to go from what's in my hand right now to the larger document to see, some of the broader language.
Well, and actually I am sharing screen just because this is a good question. And this comprehensive plan, all of the goals and policies for each section are grouped together. So while we did not put the page number where that is, but you can go to the larger plan. And for instance, for this is the land use section, you'll see all the goals and policies are at the end of each chapter. So it's pretty easy to navigate to that.
Okay.
But that's a great suggestion. Another way to cross-reference.
Yeah, and if there are any maps or anything, I haven't really gotten into going back and forth between the two. Sounds like a great intern project to me.
Well, with that, I will make a note and I will put that on the list, the long range planning list for the next person who is fortunate enough to have this position. And I do just want to say thank you to all of you who've hung with us for the last several years as we've worked through these major projects. It's been a pleasure. My last day is actually next Friday, but yeah, so thank you, and I'll see you around town.
Or at Melissa's retirement party tomorrow.
Oh, yeah.
Tomorrow, if you'd like to come.
We'll
We
be there,
posted-
Melissa, with bells on.
We
Yep.
posted a potential quorum, so we are covered. This is not an open meeting violation.
I expect to see a quorum there.
And
Just
there
so
will be
everyone knows.
no discussion. There will be no discussion of any items on an agenda.
And
But
Melissa,
on behalf of the commission, though, I would like to thank Ms. Shaw for her many years of hard work on this. And it's good to know she's leaving us very well planned into the future. Thank you, Ms. Shaw, on behalf of myself, the commission, and all the citizens of the county for all of your hard work.
Oh, well, thank you very much. It's been great. I have yeah, a lot of mixed feelings about moving on, but there we are. I do just want to point out to the commissioners again that we do have the nifty new interactive maps from the comprehensive plan linked right on the website. And these are thanks to Sophie. She was a big part in getting these available to you on the internet. So just have fun with that, use them as you need to, and yeah.
These maps are fantastic. You can zoom in to a parcel level and confirm, hey, is this parcel in the area plan or not? You can confirm, is this parcel in a fire district or not? It is amazing, that very quickly, interactively, we'll be able to use these maps for this.
Yeah, just take a look at the different subjects that are listed here. So the public safety facilities, that one in particular is, we hope, to useful.
Not sure whose mic that is, but
Oh, are you picking up some background noise?
is everyone else hearing an awful loud static?
No, but I'll try to mute when I'm not speaking.
I'll just play with this for a second, but this is the public safety facilities map, and you can zoom in and then click on a site and it will tell you what you're looking at. So, yeah.
This is the first time we have had a public facing available to everyone interactive map to show the boundaries of the fire districts, and you will be able to zoom in on properties. Those beautiful colors right there are all of the different fire districts. This is going to be a lot of great public information just on that alone, just the fire districts.
So enjoy that. And Commissioner Berger will get a copy of the companion guide and just bring that tomorrow if you're coming along to that.
I will definitely be attending, and I just want to
Okay.
personally thank you too, Melissa. It's been a real honor and a pleasure to work with you. So we'll see you
Oh.
tomorrow.
Wonderful, thanks. And if anyone else would like a companion guide, just shoot me a note and we'll bring you a copy tomorrow. And there is a printed copy of the full plan here in the office if anybody needs that. Okay, well, with that, I will say goodbye until tomorrow. Appreciate it.
Thanks, Melissa.
Yeah, we assume you're going to volunteer after you retire, Melissa, so we'll see you around.
I will be. So actually, I would mention that I'll be helping with the Western Planner effort. And if any commissioners, I mean, they're always looking for good articles and information to share. So if anyone feels like they want to write something about Coconino County, let me know. I can give Jess my contact information.
All right. Thanks, Melissa. Chair Wilson just exited.
I'm back.
Oh, good. He's back. Hey, and Chair Wilson, I will let you know we now have Commissioner Sheila Walsh with us in the meeting as well. So we do, in fact, have a quorum now.
And I see
Excellent, thank
Rose
you.
Toby as well.
Yep. We have, so we have Chair Wilson, Vice Chair Best. We have Commissioner Leslie, Commissioner Berger, Commissioner Tohey, and Commissioner Walsh.
Most importantly, we have a forum, so.
Hey,
And the Board of
just to let-
Supervisors update here from you, Mr. McNeely?
Absolutely. So for Board of Supervisors update, as Melissa told you, the most recent action of the board was to approve with your recommendation the Flagstaff Regional Land Use Plan that was yesterday. In addition to approving the adoption of the regional plan, the board also appointed a new commissioner for District 3. Supervisor Ontiveros had nominated Nick Kulspa. I think I'm pronouncing that name correctly, but you all will meet him in person at your retreat week after next. But Nick comes to us from District 3. He has experience in construction management, and he's also a local business owner. So he and his family own and run the Lake Mary General Store, RV Park, and Manufactured Home Park, which is actually a development that our department has been working with for some time. In them wanting to expand their facilities. They're actually in the process right now of expanding their wastewater facility. So for those of you who know much about wastewater in the unincorporated county, you know it's an expensive, big endeavor, and that's one of the things that that Nick is currently working on his property. But he's excited about being appointed to the Planning and Zoning Commission. He was sworn in. He and I will do an orientation next week. Perfect timing for him to attend your retreat week from Friday, or 2 weeks from Friday, and great timing. So he will attend your study session, or he plans on attending your study session and his first hearing next month, the February hearing. Any questions about board actions or your new commissioner?
Seeing none, let's move on.
All right. Well, Chair Wilson, if we'd like to jump to roundtable, our item that's on here that we'd like to discuss with you is planning for your retreat on February 19th, or February 13th, rather.
Right, I think that's pretty clear from the text incorporated in the package. Do any commissioners have any comments on what was provided?
I will
don't
add,
have any questions.
Chair Wilson, and commissioners, in discussing with staff as we kind of kicked around, hey, what has not come up recently and might be a good topic for a refresher. Staff would propose that we also add to this cell towers. There's some complexities that come with cell towers in that we have federal legislation that applies, and then we have our own code. And even the question you just asked during the study session, Chair Wilson, I think that'd be a great thing that we could hash out at your retreat and give a refresher. Does that sound good to you guys?
Yeah, let's tag that on the end, and if we have the time to do it, then we will incorporate that also.
We will. Thank you. Staff has one other thing we'd like to bring up that we discussed earlier, Chair Wilson, but let's see if you or any of the other commissioners have anything they'd like to bring up as a part of your roundtable.
Okay, the issue I wanted to address was the current scam going on. Is that the same one?
Yep, same one.
Okay. I recently received an email from Jay Crystalman that forwarded an email from a previous CUP applicant. There is a scam going on right now where they receive a very formal looking email with lots of information relating specifically to their case and says your CUP will basically be issued just as soon as you wire transfer this $5,000 to us, which is absolutely not true and is a scam. And unfortunately, this is a scam that's going around the state, at least. And we've had 2 people in Coconino County that have fallen victim to it. So I believe it's incumbent on us as a commission to make as clear as possible. And so we will begin at the end of each vote, making sure to share with the applicants that any payments that they would have been required to have been made were already made as part of the application process, and to beware of scams and confirm with community development before they transfer any money anywhere in the future. So that'll be why we're doing that. And I just wanted to make sure everybody knew it. This one was particularly bothersome because it was signed Rob Wilson, chairman. And I absolutely did not issue that. So whoever's doing it is at least staying current.
Yes.
If nothing else.
They have access, obviously, it's public information to our agendas. I will add, thanks, Chair Wilson, that in our process, before someone can even apply for a CUP or a zone change or a DRO or a subdivision preliminary plat, any of the items that come to you in a hearing, we are required by our ordinance to hold a pre-application meeting. We follow up that pre-application meeting with a set of comprehensive notes on what their next steps are. And we include verbally in that pre-application meeting and in writing in their pre-application meeting notes, do not fall for a scam. We do all of our permitting through our online portal. To include payment is only through our online portal. We never ask for payment by any other means, certainly not by wire transfer. So we're trying to warn people of this. We obviously, this scammer is finding our applicants' emails. They're emailing them directly. The entire scam is taking place email. So we have scoured everything that is public facing from our department of our customers' emails. We're hoping that cuts down where the scammer does not have access to our applicants' emails. We all know in this day and age, a pretty quick Google search, you could find someone's email if you know their name, and especially if you know what part of the country they're in. So we will continue to do our best But thank you, Chair Wilson, for wanting to use the hearing to further reiterate to our customers, you have already paid your application fees. You do that through the portal. Anything that comes to you in an email asking you for a wire transfer is definitely a scam.
Just a warning, Mr. McNeely, there's a large animal walking back and forth behind you that you should be aware of.
That would be the office polar bear that we are keeping on hand. Yes.
Okay. I just wanted to make sure the rest of the commissioners understood why we're going to bring that up. With 2 people having already fallen victim to it, all of the previous efforts apparently aren't quite enough. So we'll try to pile one more on there and make sure nobody else falls victim to it. Do any of the other commissioners have anything that they would like to discuss during this roundtable session? Okay, I'm not seeing any hands raised, which means that we can adjourn the work session, and we will start again precisely at 5 p.m.
5:30.
5:30, I'm sorry. We'll see you all then. Thank you.
Thanks all.
Thank you. Percent ratio of those floor areas, and these are both things that the commission may waive. Staff actually supports these waivers basically because this request is consistent with the existing community character of the area, and because these waivers are not far above and beyond the requirements of the zoning ordinance, especially considering that context. As far as a citizen participation plan, the applicant sent letters to neighbors within 1,000 feet of the subject property, and they held a virtual meeting on October 21st, 2025 to solicit comments from neighbors if they had any issues with the project. Nobody attended that meeting and there were no comments. Staff also sent out to property owners within 1,000 square feet soliciting comments, and staff did not receive any. These are the 4 findings of fact that need to be made for approval of this request, and happy to go over that if there are any questions. But for now, I'm assuming that the commission has been able to read and understand that in the staff report. And with that, staff recommends approval of CUP 2504-7 subject to the conditions of the staff report. I'm happy to take any questions from the commission at this time.
Thank you, Mr. Schwartz. Any members of the commission have any questions for Mr. Schwartz? I'm seeing none. So we will move on to the applicant. Is the applicant with us here this evening? And if so, could you please introduce yourself and share any thoughts you may have?
Hello, my name's Kirk Daniels. I am the applicant. Feel free to shoot off with any questions and I'm available.
Okay. My first question for you would be, have you had a chance to review the conditions that staff included in their report? And do you agree with those?
Yes, I do. I've read them and agree with them.
Thank you, sir. Unless any members of the commission have any questions for Mr. Daniels, I think we can move on then. Not seeing any. We will go ahead and open the floor for public comment. If there is anyone here from the public that would like to comment on this case, now would be the time to raise your hand. I am seeing none. So we will close the floor to public comment and begin commission discussion. Commissioner Tohi, you just happen to be at the top of my list all the time, so we'll start with you once more. I'll switch it up before the next meeting, I promise.
Okay. I can make the findings, including the 2 waivers.
Okay, thank you. Commissioner Walsh?
Thank you, Chair. I can make the finding including the 2 waivers.
Thank you. Commissioner Williams?
I also can make the finding, including the 2 waivers.
Thank you. Commissioner Best? Excuse me, Vice Chair Best.
I can make the findings. I had a question about the 3-year initial CUP length, but Then it goes to 5 years after that. So that's probably appropriate. I think it's a good location for this business right next to the highway, and I can make the findings.
Thank you, Vice Chair. Commissioner Berger.
I can make the findings as well with the 2 waivers.
Thank you. Commissioner Leslie.
I also can make the findings with the 2 waivers. Thank you.
Thank you. And I too can make the findings, including the waivers. So I need a motion to approve CUP 25-047.
I move that we approve CUP 25-047 with the recommended conditions and the 2 waivers.
Thank you, Commissioner Walsh. And a second?
I'll second.
I'll second.
I think Commissioner Leslie might have just beat you there, Commissioner Berger. So we will jot that down here and we will go through and take a vote. I have a motion to approve CUP 25-047 with the conditions as provided and the 2 waivers. Commissioner Tobey, how do you vote?
Aye.
Aye. Commissioner Walsh.
Aye.
Commissioner Williams.
Aye.
Vice Chair Best.
Aye.
Commissioner Berger.
Aye.
Commissioner Leslie.
Aye.
And I vote aye. The motion carries unanimously. And the applicant, Mr. Williams, or Daniels, excuse me, were you here when we mentioned the fact that there could be some scams aimed at you after this?
And before, I think I've received about 8 emails, which I've been forwarding off to
Okay.
your staff.
Okay. Thank you. I'm sorry that exists in our world today, but please don't get sucked in by it.
Thank you. Thank you for all your help.
All righty. Next item on the agenda is CUP 25-057, a request for a conditional use permit to keep additional miniature goats than are normally allowed in a 2.02 acre parcel. So the Workman Goat Farm, let's go with that.
All right. Thank you, Chair Wilson. This is Sophie Koza with planning staff presenting Workman Goat Farm CUP 2557. So the applicant and owner is Alyssa and Brandon Workman out of Flagstaff, Arizona. The property itself is located at 6499 Lumberjack Boulevard in Mountain View Ranches subdivision, which is in Doney Park. The zoning on the property is agricultural residential with a 2 acre minimum parcel size. And the request is to keep up to 20 miniature goats when up to 8 are normally allowed on a 2.02 acre parcel. Some more details on the request. The applicants currently have 7 goats on the property, and they've been keeping goats on the property for about 3 years now. The goats will be kept for the main purpose of producing and selling goat milk, which is permitted by right in the agricultural residential zone. Baby goats will be weaned and rehomed within 2 to 3 months of birth. These baby goats don't start counting towards the total until they hit 4 months of age. The purpose of the request is to allow for future growth of the dairy farm and be covered if weaning takes longer than planned. And the applicant intends to meet all performance standards for animal keeping, including manure, which will be used in the garden on the property and kept at least 55 feet from property lines, and feeding, watering, and sheltering will be conducted outside of setbacks. And this is a vicinity map showing the subject property towards the southeast of the image. It's in Doney Park in the Mountain View Ranches neighborhood, just south of Townsend-Winona Road. And this is an aerial photo of the property. So they have a dwelling on the property as well as a garage and a barn. And then this is a Google Street View image of the property. So you can see some of their open land that will be used for pen areas towards the east. And then these are some pictures from my site visits of the existing pen areas and the rear of the property where there's a pen area proposed, and then also one of the goats in the pens. And this is the site plan they submitted, so you can see the house, garage, and barn, and then All of the existing and proposed pens are located towards the rear of the property, with the sheltering shown in this red-orange color, water in blue, and feeding in green, all outside of setbacks. For their citizen participation plan, they held a neighborhood meeting on December 5th, at which 5 people attended, but no issues or concerns were raised. I did want to point out in July, there was a code enforcement complaint received alleging too many goats on the property, inhumane conditions for geese and ducks, and unlicensed raw goat milk sales. However, an inspection by staff found no violations on the property, and the case was closed soon after. And for staff analysis, the applicant proposes to meet all animal keeping standards. The proposal is consistent with the surrounding area and character of the neighborhood. And as mentioned before, the code compliance complaint was resolved with no violations, and no objections have been made since. The request conforms with the comprehensive plan and the Donny Park Timberline Fernwood area plan, where the comprehensive plan supports maintaining the county's rural character and resilient lifestyle, and the Donny Park Timberline Fernwood area plan states owners are responsible for their own animals, which must be kept under control. And these are the findings of fact that must be made for a conditional use permit. And these are staff's recommended conditions of approval. So with that, if the commission can make the findings of fact, staff recommends approval of PZ CUP 2557 with the recommended conditions. Are there any questions?
Ms. Cozy, could you go back just to the condition slide, just back one slide so we can
Sure.
review that real quick? Thank you. And Vice Chair Best, have a question? Oh, please go ahead.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. So if we are permitting 20 goats and we say 2 of those are rams and it's springtime and all the ladies have a baby, that's approaching 40 goats. Is that correct?
That is correct. I believe that's what the applicant suggested. They do, if I go back to the site plan really quick, they were planning on separating the females from the males in the different pens so they'd have control over breeding.
Yeah. Okay, another question is the manure issue. And I don't know if that is covered by other performance standards, section 33D. The applicant has said they're going to use it on the garden, but potentially 40 goats worth of manure seems to me that would overwhelm the garden. Are there standards that are covered by that section 33D so we don't have to condition what happens to extra manure?
Sure. So section 3.3D says that manure must be actively managed by the property owner, that it has to be kept 55 feet from property lines and 500 feet from water features. It does go more in depth for livestock, which is a different category than the miniature goats. So we could see potentially implementing the standards for livestock in this case.
And would that require amending condition 4?
It would, yes.
Okay, so we can chat about that. Okay, that's all I have. I appreciate it.
Thank you, Commissioner Best. Your hand is still up. And any other commissioners, any questions for Ms. Cozy? All right, we will move on to the applicant. Is the applicant here with us this evening? If so, could you please introduce yourself, state your name and address, and share anything you'd like to share with us?
Yeah, I'm Alyssa Workman at 6499 Lumberjack Boulevard in Flagstaff, Arizona. And I don't have anything to add. She covered everything pretty much of what I would said.
Thank you, Ms. Workman. Have you had a chance to review the conditions the staff is recommending, and do you agree with those?
Yes, I do.
Thank you. Next up would be public comment. Is there anyone here from the public that would like to comment on this conditional use permit? If so, raise your hand. I am seeing none. We will close public comment and go to commission discussion. Starting with Commissioner Towhee.
Okay, thank you, Chair. I have a little bit of a reservation around the amount of goats that are going to be kept, which is almost double, a little over double. I don't know, maybe we could look at the 5-year permit. And then, well, I'm glad that there wasn't any complaints or issues with the neighbors. That's a good thing. Other than that, I think that I just like to see what or hear what other commissioners think about this case. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Towhee. Commissioner Walsh?
I also have a bit of a concern about, I imagine they'll ramp up. I should have asked that question, but yeah, the number of goats is a little bit alarming to me, but if they had a public meeting and everybody was fine with it, I can make the findings.
Thank you, Commissioner Walsh. Commissioner Williams?
I guess I kind of feel how Commissioner Walsh does. The increase in number of goats is fairly significant, and manure would be my biggest concern. But, you know, you can always get a dumpster and a dumpster service. If it becomes a problem for the neighbors, I mean, that's really the biggest issue I see. So I would say, you know, if it's for 5 years, I mean, if there's a complaint, there's ways to mitigate it. Like, you can get a dumpster service, as you probably know. And yeah, I think I'm happy to let them give it a try.
Okay. Vice Chair Best?
Thank you. You know, the concerns with me are noise and manure. I don't know that we can control the noise. Could staff suggest anything on that fourth condition that would regulate what happens to manure, so that we don't, I hate to leave it up to the neighbors to have to go through the complaint process. Is there something within section 3.3D that could be improved upon or invoked here?
Yeah, I can, if you'd like, I can read you the additional requirements for livestock for manure from the zoning ordinance.
And
I'm not clear I understand the question here. Are you asking us to go above and beyond what 3.3 Delta requires? Vice Chair?
Good question. I'm someone last month said they knew something about goats, and I was hoping that someone would know more than I do about goats. What I'm concerned with is there's going to be a lot of manure if this is taken to its maximum, more than I believe the garden can handle. And I don't want to impose that on the neighborhood. Hopefully there's something within 3.3D that says a certain amount, a certain time frame of removal. What do we do if we just have a great big pile of manure? Where is it? How big can it be? How badly can it smell?
Could we bring up section 3.3D of the zoning ordinance to share here? Look at that. Impressive as always, staff. 3.3 Delta.
I'm reading E.
Manure shall be actively managed to the container site properly, so then shall be collected at least weekly in spring.
So it looks like
hauled
it
on
has to be
site.
collected weekly and something done with it.
Yep, and it shall not be
Okay.
permitted to be accumulated. So I think this
That
addresses
covers
it
Yeah.
pretty well.
Okay, I would suggest that we go with 3 years. And if it's working out great, they can just ask for 5 years next time. But I think the noise issue could be, having 18 little goats bleeding for their mommies could be an issue, and it's kind of subjective. And I would just suggest going to 3 years.
Thank you, Vice Chair Best. Commissioner Berger, your thoughts?
Well, in reading 3.3D, number it is, it says that they don't count the offspring. So I think we are really talking about holding them accountable for noise and the manure for sure. But under the conditions, I'm kind of with Commissioner Best on the 3 years, only because I don't know anything about goats and noise. I've been around goats a few times in my life. I don't think it's an issue. But certainly it's something to be concerned about for the other neighbors, for them to have to come and make complaints. I'd hate to have them have to do all that as well.
Okay. Thank you, Commissioner Berger. Commissioner Leslie?
I have to tell you, I'm in the same boat with the 3 years as a trial basis. I almost feel like I would like to see in item number 4, section 3.3 Delta, I would like to see subsection E in there as well, because that was very specific on containment and clearing issues for the manure. And I would hate for that to get overlooked. Thank you.
Okay, I would just caution that if we specified a particular subsection, then the rest might be considered to be not applicable rather than the entire paragraph, which I think we want to be applicable.
No, I understand.
So fortunately, the applicant is here and I'm sure she understands our concerns. Thank you, Commissioner Leslie. I too have some concerns about that. It's the noise issue that has been brought up. I don't know how you hold a goat accountable to less than 50 dB of noise at the property line. I don't think there's any way for us to do that. So I think what we need to talk about is, are we going to do a 3 or a 5 year CUP here? And I believe the rest of it is covered. The rest of the concerns that have been voiced are covered in section 3.3 Delta. So there's been a couple, I think 3 commissioners that recommended 3 versus 5 years. I'm just going to ask really quickly each one how many years you think we should do here, and then we will go for a vote if that works for everybody. Commissioner Towhee, how many years?
I go with 3.
3. Commissioner Walsh?
3.
Commissioner Williams?
3.
And I've already got the next 3, and so we have 3 years is the majority for sure. I need a motion then to approve CUP 25-057 with conditions as stated, with a term of 3 years.
Mr. Chair, I move that we approve CUP 25057 with a term of 3 years and the existing conditions.
Thank you, Commissioner Best. I need a second.
I'll second.
Thank you. Excuse me, Commissioner Berger. I have a motion from Commissioner Best and a second from Commissioner Berger to approve CUP 25057 with the conditions as presented for a period of 3 years. Commissioner Towhee, how do you vote?
Aye.
Commissioner Walsh?
Aye.
Commissioner Williams?
Aye.
Vice Chair Best?
Aye.
Commissioner Berger?
Aye.
Commissioner Leslie?
Aye.
And I vote aye. The motion carries unanimously. Ms. Workman, I'm not sure if you heard earlier, there are some scams going on with CUPs. please, if you're contacted by anyone outside the county or what looks like the county and you have any questions, verify with them before you do anything with respect to those and any kind of additional payments.
Yeah, sounds good.
All right, thank you very much. That will take us to the next item on the agenda, zoning change 25-008 and CUP 25058, a request for a zone change from G General to CG 10,000 and a conditional use permit for a fuel island and RV park slant campground. Let's look at the staff presentation on that.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, members of the board, members of the commission, excuse me. This case is the Raptor Ranch zone change and CUP. In this case, the applicant and property owner, actually the property owner is Brown Family Trust of Laguna Hills, California. The applicant is Troy Morris of Valley, Arizona. The current zoning is general. The proposed zoning is CG 10,000. Property size is 30 acres. And in this case, the request is a zone change to CG 10,000 and a CUP for a new fuel island and a CUP for the existing campground and RV park. And I wanted to mention that the other uses on this property are permitted by right, so they don't require a CUP. If the CG 10,000 zone is approved, then they are approved, permitted by right in the zone. There is some additional development that the applicant is requesting. These are things that pretty much would work without a conditional use permit as well. The first one is 6 park models installed in the existing RV spaces, an outdoor market with 4 vendors, a dog park and a large patio, and then landscaping and lighting would meet current zone. Both of those meet current zoning standards. Future plans are to build an 8,000 to 10,000 square foot expanded grocery market and restaurant, and that would be permitted by right in this zone. The campground is to remain closed at this point. The applicant doesn't want to open that back up, but it may reopen in the future. This is some background on this case. Bedrock City was established with a conditional use permit in 1971 as a theme park, and it also had a retail store and food services. The RV park was added in 1975 through another conditional use permit. Those current uses are now what we call legal non-conforming, which means they're grandfathered in. They were legal at the time to be approved with the CUP, but that could not happen now in this current zoning. So the zone change would place these into the correct zone, these uses into the correct zone, and also allow expansion of additional commercial uses on this property. There were CUP renewals approved in 1995, 2007, and 2015. The CUP did expire in April of 2025 without being renewed. This is a vicinity map showing the subject property in Valley right by the intersection. This is a zoning map, and as you can see, there is CG 10,000 zoning all around. In fact, this was a zone change the commission recommended last year and the board approved. And so this is the subject property, which has had those commercial uses for a long time. And this is an aerial photo, and you can see the old Bedrock. Bedrock is back here. This is the campground on this side, and then in the front you see the large parking lot. Here's the RV park is over here, and this is the large parking lot with the other uses, the restaurant, and etc. This is a site plan showing the subject property. Sorry, it's really large and you can't see it very well, but it does show, again, the same items I just pointed out. And this is a site plan that just zooms in on the new fuel island that they are proposing. This is the restaurant and store and some other things on the property. You can also see the 6 park models over here. And the dog park there's a dog park in the front, large patio on the back. This is a photograph showing the current development, or this is what they call Fred's Diner and Market. It's basically a little restaurant inside with also a gift shop and some other convenience store items. This is a picture of the Bedrock City. You can see some of the, the dinosaurs, etc., that are there. Another picture of that. This is Barney. I think he's still there. This is kind of an old picture. And this is a raptor that Raptor Ranch has added to. This is actually a Velociraptor, which is not the kind of raptors they have, but it fits well with Bedrock City. And this is the pens, the cages where the raptors, the actual bird raptors, are caged. There are 4 of these, and these would be modified and used as the benders in the front, and the applicant has different ideas for how to cage the raptors. This is a picture of the RV park. I wanted to point out that there are a lot of the existing trees on the property. The applicant has inventoried all of them that are over 2 inches in size, and those would, of course, count toward their landscaping. This is the issues with traffic and utilities. So this is on Highway 64. That's an ADOT facility or an ADOT highway, Arizona Department of Transportation. So whenever you put in a new fuel island on a state facility like this, a state highway, then you are required to get an encroachment permit for any kind of increased impacts to that highway. For example, additional traffic, we're especially concerned with turns off of the highway into this property. So an encroachment permit will be required, and this could include the requirement for turn lanes. In terms of fire safety, High Country Fire and Rescue already provides fire and emergency services to this property under an existing contract, so that's already in place and has been in place for a long time. In terms of their wastewater system, ADQ has provided a letter indicating the current system is sufficient for both the existing and proposed uses. So this is a larger wastewater system that was approved by ADQ and not by the county. In terms of potable water, this property is always hauled water because there's really no other water available at this time. And this is the landscape plan. I've actually just kind of cut this off of the other site plan. And if you zoom in real close, of course, you can see this is the inventory of existing trees on the property. That's trees over 2 inches in diameter. And the applicant's also proposing more trees along the frontage right here. So their final plan, this is still illustrative. And of course, this goes down further, but their final plan would meet current landscape standards because of all the existing trees they have on site. And I want to talk about signage. This is a unique place for signage. Certainly, there has been a variety of signage installed here over the years. This began originally with the development of Bedrock City when signage standards back there were a lot different than they are now. So a lot of these are the old historic signage. There was a sign permit issued in 2007 as part of a renewal of a CUP. When the current owner bought the property in 2019 or about that time, there were several signs and sign faces changed. but the number and the sizes of those signs were not substantially changed. And I want to mention most of the signage on this property is either historic, it's legal non-conforming, or it's directional. And in our sign code or in our zoning ordinance, directional signage is exempt from the sign ordinance or from the regulations. So the applicant has provided a signage plan. This is something that was actually a condition of the 1995 renewal that really wasn't ever completed, but they have provided a signage plan, and what it shows is the signs that they request to be approved by the commission, because this will require a sign waiver. So if you look over on the left-hand side, you can see this is the Fred's Diner and Market, and you can see the change that the applicant made when they purchased the property back in 2019 or so. So this was the old sign. This is the new sign. They're about the same size. The sign, of course, is much more up to date. And then if you look on this side, it was called the Buffalo Lodge at the time. It really just is, I'm not sure, I think if they use this for multiple uses, like your camp store and office, and also for laundry. But this is how it looked before, and this is how it looks now. And then these two signs are further out on the ends right here. So these are the changes they made. The entrance to the park is a new sign. It's right here. You can see it right here. That's pretty much a directional sign that gives you directions as to where to go. And this is a really old sign. It's over here to the left side. This is just an old historic sign. And I wanted to show you a little bit closer look at this to see how much it's changed. This is definitely an improvement to this. This is looking a little bit dated and a little bit run down. I did also want to point out that if you look at these signs, these 4 signs, these are new signs added by the applicant. They weren't there before. And this is another picture of those. These are 2 billboards on the property. Billboards in the county are legal non-conforming, so it is something that, you know, they are allowed to have those. They are legal non-conforming, would remain that way. And then down here's some more signs the applicants is requesting. Those are actually just directional signs that are exempt from the sign ordinance or the zoning ordinance. And lastly, there is this is a large historic sign. It's getting pretty run down. It's kind of starting to rot away. In fact, the applicant would like to keep it and refurbish it and make it look like this, basically. So for sign recommendations, staff recommends approval of the signage plan that's proposed by the applicant. And in order to do that, the commission would approve a sign waiver, and then a sign permit would have to be issued by staff. That would basically approve the signage I've just shown you. Now I want to talk about the fuel island. The fuel island is proposed to be cut off as its own parcel by the applicant. And that's the only way this signage could be approved for the fuel island, is if it gets cut off and creates its own parcel. Then it's a new parcel. It can start over with signage. And this is the sign currently proposed by the applicant for the fuel island. And the applicant has provided a lot of very good renderings showing what the site would look like if it is approved and the fuel island and everything else goes in as proposed. So this is not quite a traffic level, but you can tell what it would look like. You can see the trees along the frontage. You can see the new gas station basically here. So this shows what it would look like. Another photo showing the gas station right here in front. You see this is the proposed dog park. And this is on the other end. You can see the park models. And this is looking down on the gas station. Now, they are asking for a paving waiver. This has traditionally always been gravel. It's kind of a typical thing out here in Valley. There would be pavement underneath the fuel island right here, though, but otherwise they're asking for gravel, compact gravel surface in lieu of paving. Another photo. Here's the dog park again. Here's that refurbished sign they're requesting. And they have some kind of unique ideas for creating these little islands here for landscape islands. And I believe this would be like bus type parking. Okay, so there are two requested waivers. The first one's a signage waiver that we already talked about. Basically entails approving the applicant's signage plan. The second one is one that the commission looked at, the pretty much identical waiver almost last year, and that is buffering between zones. Between this property and the property to the south, because the one's a commercial zone, one's a residential zone, there is a requirement for a 20-foot buffer, a 6-foot fence, and landscaping between the commercial and residential zones. And again, just like last year, the abutting property is currently vacant. It's not really viable for residential development. And it's actually appropriate for commercial zoning. So it seems like a lot to require this buffering. So the applicant's is requesting a waiver to that. And this map shows that this would be the buffer. So it'd be a very long buffer, a very long fence, and staff completely expects that this property will they may have a zone change to commercial in the future. There would be between 2 commercial zones if this is approved. For citizen participation, the applicant held a meeting on March 17th of the last year, and they had 11 people attend the meeting, and no one had issues with the proposal. I believe the notification area was 1,000 feet, so it got pretty far across the road into some properties over there. They did receive one comment on the phone, and that was in support of this proposal. These are the findings for zone change. Those have been addressed in your staff report. These are the findings for a CUP. And I wanted to talk about some of the policies, staff analysis in terms of comp plan. The zone change provides zoning entitlements to a property that has had commercial uses for several decades. Probably should have been changed to commercial a long time ago if that would have worked out. The CUP provides for redevelopment of the property that will improve the condition of the site and the commercial center of Valley. And the project is consistent with several things here in the comp plan policies related to fire protection, tourist-related development, community character, well-designed communities and areas where services are available. And the comp plan also supports transitioning non-conforming uses to conforming uses. We have a lot of non-conforming uses on this property. And this is staff analysis based on the Valley Area Plan. The project is consistent with Valley Area Plan policies related to visual appearance of highway development and the impacts of the proposed use on area residents. So that's something pointed out in the Valley Area Plan. How do properties look along the highway? And then this last one, the Valley Area Plan policy, there is a policy that indicates existing commercially zoned land should be utilized prior to considering new rezonings. And that would really not apply in this case because this property has had commercial uses for the last 50 years. It's an established commercial property, so staff does not feel that would apply in this case. And with that, staff recommends the commission approves CUP 25058 and forwards the recommendation of approval of ZC 25008 to the Board of Supervisors with the recommended conditions. With that, I'll take any questions from the commission.
Thank you, Mr. Short. Looks like Commissioner Berger had her hand up first, so let's go ahead.
So I just want to make sure I heard something correctly. When we talk about a fuel island, are they saying that they're just going to have gravel? It's not going to be paved?
Commissioner Berger, so our code allows for what we call a paving waiver. It can be approved actually by staff or by the commission. So that allows you to have gravel because, you know, we're a very rural county, of course. So there are a lot of places where there's just, you know, it's gravel. It's a very informal type of development pattern. So this has had gravel for 50 years, and they would like a paving waiver. But for the area right underneath the fuel island, that would be paved.
Okay, yeah, my concern is threefold, right? Dust, and then if there's any leaks, so if it's right underneath it, I just wanted some clarity because fuel is a big toxic no-no. I've worked in that field a lot with leaking underground storage tanks, so I wanted some clarity on that. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Berger. Vice Chair Best.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. We have a kind of a new goal, EH5, which supports what we've been doing for a while, promote a respectful tourism culture countywide. And so since we are as part of that, I think I talked to you earlier about this, but I got confused about your answer. We are approving as part of this a campground and an RV park. So is there any reason that that goal would not apply? And I'll get into more specifics when it's time for commissioner comment, but it seems like it would apply to me, and I don't see anything in the conditions.
Vice Chair Best, were you speaking of the leave no trace condition that's been used?
Yes.
Okay, because I do have that ready if the commission would like to apply that add that to the conditions.
Okay. I thought last time we talked, you thought that it wasn't appropriate, but okay,
it can be. I mean, it's not adjacent to national forest. But it's kind of up to the commission what they would like to apply, what conditions they would like to apply. So I do have that.
Okay. All right. Thank you. We can discuss that later.
Any other commissioner questions for Mr. Best? Excuse me, Mr. Short. Commissioner Leslie?
Mr. Short, I'm just curious with this proposed fuel island, is it going to be above ground storage or underground storage tanks? Thank you.
Commissioner Leslie, it would be below ground storage tanks. I had that question as well with one of the site plans I got, but they did assure me it would be underground storage tanks.
Okay, very good. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Vice Chair Best, do you have another question? Oh,
no,
your
thank
hand.
you.
Okay. I'm having some computer problems. I have to sign off here and sign right back on again while you're static. I'll be right back. Sorry. Okay, I am back, I hope. Mr. McNeely, am I audible?
Chair Wilson, yep, see you and hear you
Okay.
just fine.
Good deal. Thank you. So any other questions from the commissioners for Mr. Short at this point? Seeing none, I will ask Mr. Morris, I guess, is the applicant or his representative is here. If you could introduce yourself and share anything you would like to share.
Hi, my name's Troy Morris. I live on the property. The address is 264 US Highway 180, Williams, Arizona 86046. And yeah, we are, we kind of wanted to keep the asphalt, not the gravel parking lot, much as it is now, other than adding the planter areas. The area beneath the canopy and the pumps is concrete, not asphalt. And then all along the front of the store, from the existing market and store all the way down to the camp store, where the people pull up and park in front of those places, is asphalt. So this base has been down here for over 50 years. It's been used as truck stops for the cattle trucks going out to the ranches and bus stops and everything else for a long time. So it's pretty well in place. We'd like to keep it that way, kind of keep the rural character of the area. And yeah, that's kind of what we're looking to do, and spruce this entire property up, make it more of a gathering place for folks to come and vendors to set up outside and just kind of refresh this property.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Morris. Have you had a chance to review the conditions that staff has included in this report, and do you agree with those?
Yes, I have, and yes, I do.
Thank you, sir. We'll now open the discussion to public comment. Is there any members of the public here this evening that would like to address this case? So raise your hand. And I am seeing none of those. So we will close it to public discussion and go to commission discussion. And it sounds like the things that we need to kind of focus on here is that we are doing a zone change. We are doing a CUP. We're including a sign waiver to basically clean up many years of a mess there with signs, and we're doing a pavement waiver as a part of this process. So those are the things that we should be considering as we go around here. Commissioner Toki, do you have any thoughts to open us up here?
Thank you, Chair. I really appreciate this development, just personally, for all the people out there. And since there's nobody that's opposing it, I think it's a good idea. So I make the findings and also support all the list that you gave off, Chair. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Tohi. Commissioner Walsh.
Thank you, Chair. I recommend I send the approval of zone change to the Board of Supervisors. I can make the findings for the CUP, and I also support the sign waiver and the pavement waiver to maintain the character of this project. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Walsh. Commissioner Williams.
Yeah, I think this is a great project. Valley is stepping up in the world. So, or Grand Canyon Junction, I guess, is that it technically? I can make the findings, and I'm on board with all this.
Thank you, Commissioner Williams. Vice Chair Best.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I did go out and meet with Mr. Morris and had a tour of the property. I got up close and personal with some of his birds, which was very exciting. Honestly, over the years, the way this place looks now, I always thought it was closed. I always drove by, even when I had kids in the car. So I'm very excited about it. I think this is a great project. overall. I think that the long-term plan is a grocery store there, probably rather small, but anything we can do out there that helps support the thousands and thousands of lots around Valley that really don't have much in the way of infrastructure is great. I like the park models. I think that'll be a very good look from the highway. This is an RV park and a campground, and consistent with what we've been doing for the last 5 years or so, trying to get respectful, responsible tourism established so that people understand the value of where they are and how they should treat it. I would like to propose this condition. Applicant shall establish a bulletin board at a location approved by staff with leave no trace posters and a sign indicating the current fire danger in the Kaibab National Forest. This isn't adjacent to any public land, but needless to say, that's why people are coming here. They're going to be out on the land, and the more we can establish a culture of caring for the land and appreciating it, the better off we'll be. I am a little concerned about the gravel issue and spillage. And I wonder, I would like to ask staff, would ADEQ be involved in this? Because I know that over the years, there have been a lot of places where tanks leaked and there was spillage. Of course, tanks are underground, but maybe we should check with ADEQ about what exactly they require if we haven't already. One opportunity might be asphalt millings, which I think are not hugely, not a great deal more expensive than gravel if they're available. And that's something maybe the applicant could consider. But I can make the findings. I can make the findings for the waivers, and I encourage this additional condition. Thank you.
So Commissioner Best, my understanding would be the condition that's currently displayed on the screen, you would like to have added. And then specifically what with respect to millings and concrete and asphalt?
Well, that's a good question. I'm not sure. I hadn't thought about it until it was brought up just a minute ago. So I think I would ask staff, are they comfortable with the spill, the fuel spilling issue? Is there somebody we should be checking with?
I suspect that's outside the scope of what we're here. It would be an ADEQ issue. It would be something that would be covered and regulated under other organizations.
But aren't we giving a waiver for it?
So Commissioner Best and Chair Wilson, this is Jess with staff. Yeah, you're waiving the zoning ordinance allows for paving waivers, and so for commercial parking lots. Very common, obviously, in the rural parts of our county. As a matter of fact, staff can approve them when certain conditions are met. The installation of fuel tanks, as you suspected, is regulated by ADEQ, and the county issues a building permit for installation. However, all the regulations, all of the environmental quality regulations comes directly from ADEQ, and ADEQ is always involved when there's installation of fuel tanks. You will see on the site plan, which you can't really see right now because there's this Word doc in front of it. But if you zoom in on the gas, the actual gas island, what we call an island, surrounded by the rest of the parking lot, and under the canopy, there is required concrete paving at the actual fuel stations. So where people are fueling is on concrete, and that's actually pretty common. We have a good number of gas stations in the county where the majority of the commercial parking lot is gravel, yet there's a requirement for concrete paving under where the fuel pumps are. Does that help your understanding?
Yeah, and in
Yeah,
fact, I
that
believe we
takes care of
approved.
it. Yeah, it sounds like ADEQ is the responsible party there, and we don't need to be
Okay.
involved beyond what we're doing. So thank you.
Thank you, Vice Chair Best. Commissioner Berger?
Well, most of my questions were answered throughout the conversation. So with that, I can make the findings with the two waivers and conditions.
Thank you. Commissioner Leslie?
Yeah, after hearing everybody in their discussions and questions, I too can make the findings and with the as proposed with no issues. Thank you.
Thank you. I too can make the findings, and so we're going to need, what I'd like to do is break this out into two different votes. We're going to do one vote to approve the CUP that will include a sign waiver and a pavement waiver and the one new condition that we have added. And then we will follow that with a vote to recommend for approval to the board the zone change. So I need a motion to approve CUP 25-058 with a sign waiver and a pavement waiver.
I propose that we recommend approval of CUP 25-058 with the sign waiver and the pavement waiver and the condition of
As
that
modified.
Modified that Vice Chair put up with the bulletin board statement.
Thank you, Commissioner Walsh. Can I get a second?
I'll second.
Commissioner Williams, thank you. I have a motion to approve CUP 25-058, including a sign waiver, a pavement waiver, and the conditions as modified from Commissioner Walsh, seconded by Commissioner Williams. Commissioner Towhee, how do you vote?
Aye.
Commissioner Walsh?
Aye.
Commissioner Williams?
Aye.
Vice Chair Best?
Aye.
Commissioner Berger?
Aye.
Commissioner Leslie?
Aye.
And I vote aye, so the CUP passes as modified. We are now going to need a motion to recommend approval of zone change 25008 to the Board of Supervisors.
I'll recommend.
I recommend approval of ZC 25008 to the Board of Supervisors.
Thank you,
I'll second.
Commissioner Walsh.
I'll
And
second.
looks like, thank you, Commissioner Williams. I have a motion to approve zone change 25008 from Commissioner Walsh, or second from Commissioner Williams. Commissioner Towhee, how do you vote?
Aye.
Commissioner Walsh?
Aye.
Commissioner Williams?
Aye.
Vice Chair Best?
Aye.
Commissioner Berger?
Aye.
Commissioner Leslie?
Aye.
And I too vote yes. That motion carries. We will recommend this for approval to the Board of Supervisors. And I believe that wraps up the cases for this evening. The final item on our agenda is a call for public comment for anything that was not on tonight's agenda. If there's a member of the public here that'd like to make a comment, please raise your hand. Be recognized, state your name and address for the record. Seeing none, I will call this meeting adjourned at 7:03 p.m. on January 28th and thank everyone for your participation and help this evening.
Thanks, everyone.
Good night.
Thank you.
Night, everybody.
Good night.
Good
Have a
night.
good night.
Good night.
See you on
Miss
Friday
Lane,
the
if you could
13th.
hold on for just a second.
Yeah, I'm here.
At one point, there was some conversation this evening about one of the commissioners that talked to an applicant during a site visit, and I'm wondering, we had a previous